Hi everybody, this is Jesi from Literary Gladiators, and today I'm going to talk about a book that I actually read back in April. I took a pretty long solo road trip, which was a lot of fun, and needless to say, when you're by yourself, you have to have a good book. So I chose to bring with me Eat, Pray, Love. I'm sure many of you have heard about it. They made it into a movie. It's more of a, I guess, like a chick flick. However, I have to say that I feel like this is one of those books that everybody should read at some point. It's an excellent book about, self-discovery. And again, it's one of those things where the book is better than the movie. Not that the movie didn't do it justice, it did. It's one of my favorites actually, but the book really kind of delves a little bit deeper into how depressed Liz actually was. And I feel like since depression is one of those mental illnesses that you find in more and more people, especially in Americans. Um, or modern society, I guess I should say, not just Americans, because you can find depression all over the world. But in our current state, it's good to kind of see how other people handle it, and it can help inspire you to really come out of your own depression and do something to make yourself happier, and live a happier lifestyle as opposed to letting the depression consume you. So the book starts out really nicely. With nicely written about how she started this kind of recount of the certain amount of time where she decided to divorce her husband. It wasn't that she didn't love him, it was just that she wasn't happy in the relationship anymore. She felt depressed. They didn't have the same things in common. They didn't want to do the same things. They were just kind of coexisting. They were more roommates than they were, partners in anything. And she had kind of fallen into that depression and she wanted to do something about it. And she realized that in order for her life to change, she was the one that had to change it. So she went through a pretty, I mean, there's worse divorce stories, but there's also better ones. So it wasn't awful, but I mean, she ultimately ended up saying, just take everything, take it all, take whatever you want. I don't care anymore. I just want to be happy. She then ends up spending some time with a younger man, who makes her feel so full of life. However, again, they're not exactly coexisting very well. But she's finding that he has some philosophies about, life and doing what makes you happy that she decides to kind of embrace. So she then decides that she's going to take a year away, which I wish I had the kind of money to do that. But she decides to take the year away, and, kind of indulge and live life in other countries and just, for lack of better phrasing, find herself. Which I'm sure is something, everybody wishes that they can do at some point. And I felt such an appropriate book for me to take on my road trip, because that was kind of my whole, kind of get back to me. I wasn't feeling happy and I wanted to do something to make me feel happy. So kind of went on this trip by myself just like she did, and ultimately came out of the experience feeling like a better person. So that alone, I think, should encourage everybody to read it. She ultimately, ends up going to Italy, India, and Indonesia, the three eyes, which she, again, kind of delves into the importance of that. She didn't pick them on purpose. It was just kind of a coincidence that they were all, the three eyes, which happened to be like a sacred thing in her meditation that she learned. Eat, Pray, Love, I mean, it all kind of goes together. You eat in Italy, all the pasta. You pray when you go to the temples in India, and she ends up ultimately finding love in Bali, which is so romantic. she swears it's all true, that it was just, again, coincidence that she happened to find her soulmate, her partner in Bali. But I don't want to go too spoiler into it. My favorite part, personally, I loved the whole part behind Italy. She meets new people, she learns new language, and she really talks about how it's more, again, about making yourself happy as opposed to worrying so much about, how the world sees you. And I mean, actually, I believe they have the video going around on Facebook now, where she talks about, she hates waking up every morning thinking about all the calories she ate the day before and then just living in guilt. And she doesn't want to live in guilt because guilt makes her unhappy. Instead, she wants to enjoy herself. She doesn't want to be obese. She doesn't want to be unhealthy, but she doesn't want to sit and punish herself every single day just for eating foods that she likes. And I feel like that's, something that everybody kind of needs to think about. We punish ourselves for the things that we enjoy, our guilty pleasures, without even realizing that we're doing it. And that right there is kind of a nice eye opener. If you like eating pizza, eat pizza. Don't be fat, but eat pizza. Like don't be unhealthy, but enjoy yourself. Moderation is good, and you can still enjoy the things that you like, so long as it's not hurting you or anybody else. So that like I said, it just kind of went around Facebook, and that's definitely one of the things that the movie incorporated from the book. That was a nice, important kind of message that I feel that the book has. Again, I recommend it to basically everybody. The movie does come across as a chick flick. I recommended the book to my brother because it's really, yes, it's written by a woman. It's about a woman's journey, but it doesn't really mean that only women can experience this journey. I think, there are tons of men out there who could really, relate to this book. Maybe not every aspect of it. She does talk about some things that are strictly women. But again, the whole book is her climb out of the hole of depression and how she overcomes it, how she becomes, this person that she's now happy with, and the lessons that she learned along the way from people, from men, women, children, medicine men, like all the people that she met taught her a different lesson to help her kind of regain who she was. She didn't really, per se, find a new self. She just kind of, it brought out her old self again, and it just kind of, it made her happy. And that's why I think, everybody should read this book, especially if you're feeling down. Discover who you are again. It's a great book, highly recommended. And if you can't read it, the movie really isn't that far off. But again, the book kind of touches on depression and anxiety a little bit more than the movie does. Guys, highly recommend it. I don't know what else to say about it. It's fun. And quite a journey. You learn a lot about different cultures in the book too, not just, different lessons, but she does cover, the cultures and why the people do certain things, and why, certain foods are considered sacred and why others aren't, and, all those wonderful things. So, Eat, Pray, Love, highly recommended. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick little discussion about it. Hope you go to your local library or your bookstore and pick it up and, read it. And I hope it helps you, kind of feel good about yourself the way it made me feel good about myself. Definitely one of my top books of the year, which that will be coming out soon. You guys will hear about it. All right, that's everything, guys. I'll talk to you later. Have a great one and keep reading. Bye-bye.